What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Happy New Year again. I put out my Happy New Year video for you guys. Actually fell asleep before the post-production stuff was done. It wasn't uploaded. It just... So, I got it out a little later than I anticipated. But that's alright because the message was still relevant and important. And it wasn't based in time, all like that. It's New Year's, but, a few hours here or there didn't make a difference. So, to everybody that touched, I appreciate that. Glad you got something out of it. Also, I hope everybody, I made a long prayer early in the evening yesterday, just asking God to protect all those people that would be out there on the roads and, all the godless folks out with their drinking and all of it. It's a very dangerous time, unfortunately, in a godless society, because I have two occasions where I lost people at New Year's. One year, this is many years ago, but one of my sisters was having a New Year's party at her house, and we had a bunch of people there, and there was a couple of guys that I knew from high school that they were gonna be leaving to go someplace that required them to drive on the freeway. And everybody's like, no, why are you guys leaving? Like, this is, you don't need to go anywhere. Like, this is where the party is. And, well, they insisted on leaving. And they ended up being in a head-on collision. And they were decapitated. Yeah. The other time was that same sister. Her ass is bad luck, can I just tell you. Anyway, that same sister... they were going to be going to the military base we were having all the family and friends and people like that in one place. And then she decided that her and two of her girlfriends, two of which I went to high school with, that's how they even knew her ass. And one of the girls, her boyfriend he was in the military, but he was coming home on leave or something. They were going to the military base. Somebody ran a stop sign. My sister was driving this girl's car, and that's the girl that got killed. She was sitting in the back. It was one of them Toyotas that had the small, like, I don't know how you describe it. I forget the name of that car. But anyway, it's a Toyota. And she ended up going through the back window, and she was like laying on the trunk. Her feet were still in the car, and she had passed away because her neck was broken. So, I just think about that, and even when it's not the so-called dangerous time of the year, when I'm on the road driving, I don't trust no damn body. Like, if I'm on a 2-lane highway, one lane each direction, I'm the dude with my wheels over in the bike lane if there's one. I'm that dude. I don't trust nobody. Anyway, so I just had made a long prayer last night, just asking Allah to just try and protect people from themselves and everybody else, I also, and so fine now, but now this I'm doing, you guys, because I'm doing this second part against my better judgment, but I'm trusting you, because I told you guys, you got to share every video that I release, and you got to thumbs up every video that I release. That's because when you share the video, obviously you're getting it to more people. But when you thumbs up the video, you're helping its searchability. And that helps it to move. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here for 2 or 3 people. I'm not here for that. I told you guys in my New Year's video, when you hear people say when they're endeavoring at a cause or something like that, and they go, I just know I just felt like if I just reach one person, then I've done my job. I don't feel that way. I don't. If I endeavor and put a bunch of work into something, damn it, then I'm not doing that for just one person. You see what I'm saying? So I'm mentioning it because I'm not able to see the analytics on. It takes a couple days for the statistics to come in when you look in analytics on YouTube to see how many times a video was shared. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can see in analytics, where you're being watched, how many people are watching, what they're watching you on, everything. But one of them is the sharing. So those numbers aren't available to me yet. So I'm trusting you guys. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying it to you right now as you're watching it. So you should be thumbsing up the video as I'm saying it. I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it to you. So you should be thumbsing up. You see? And sharing. Now, and also, this is information that we all need. We all need. And I put a little extra special work into this one because some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is a little more involved. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. The first video that I did about how to get what you want in this society, I told you at the end of that, like, I know there's some other things I probably could say, but I just didn't want to go any longer, And so I figured if I just made some bullets about some things that I need to make sure I mention, then that'll be better. Yeah. So, yeah, there's something else I thought I needed to say right there. Anyway, all right. As I sit here talking to you right now, I don't know what the video is going to be called. I don't want to put the same title and then part 2. I think I probably want to put something that's a little bit more grabby and then put that title part 2 or something. I don't know, whatever. But first thing I want to say, you guys, is, because remember, this whole thing is premised on how to get what you want in this society. And so, damn, I'm blanking as I'm starting to talk. Maybe I shouldn't do this video right now, because I'm usually 5 minutes ahead of whatever I'm talking about at that moment. My brain goes like that, like I'm already down there. Anyway, we're talking about how to get what you want in this society. If you've not seen the first video, you won't know what's going on. So you need to go and watch part 1. All right? That will be in the description box down below. The link for that video is in the description box down below. Go and click on that. And probably that one may even be more enjoyable than this one. We don't know, because I just speak from the heart, and I don't know where videos will go. I stay on topic, but I don't know where it's going to go, So you need to go and watch that first part. So obviously in this society that white people claim they are the majority in, which they are not. All right, I'm going to do a whole thing about that probably. I've mentioned that. I've touched on that topic in previous work. And so maybe I don't need to do anything, but maybe I do. I don't know. At the very least, they keep up this facade, you see. And so what I hope to do in this second part is to relieve a lot of tension that's on you, potentially, and have you to understand that you don't need to be stressing over a lot of things, and you just don't need to. You just don't need to. That you don't need to, That's one of my mottos in life that I live by. In fact, a year ago, 2 years ago, I think, on my birthday, I said, this is just going to be my decade of I don't need to, I don't need to, I don't need to, I don't need to. So, in their society, in quotes, I want to begin by sharing with you that it's always good, and you guys know that I always proclaim that the white man is the devil and he's the enemy of our people. That's not going to change. Having said that, sometimes you have to know how to use your enemies, Sometimes you got to use your enemies, I'll give you a elementary metaphor that we can all relate to. let's say it's kind of like you ever watch like That's So Raven or something, or any comedy show. It doesn't have to be comedy, it could be action adventure, where they go and they knock out the guards, and then they come out in whoever the people they knocked out, they come out in what they were wearing, so they can gain entry to wherever they're going. So it's kind of like that. I want you to think of it in that context, because sometimes you need to use this enemy, because even though they are the enemy of our people, most of them are not bright. And you can always find one that just kind of like dingy and dumb and will go along. You see what I'm saying? So you need to be able to use your enemy, no matter what the setting, no matter who the parties are. I'm talking about the enemy of our people, but it could just be anybody that's your enemy. You gotta learn how to use your enemies. You gotta learn how to use them. That can be very important to getting what you want in this society. And so, in that context, you need to always make sure you have at least one good white friend. You see what I'm saying? Or at least somebody that you can access for different things. I'll give you an example. So that many years ago, a couple of my sisters were trying to get an apartment. In fact, they ended up getting apartments right next door to each other. But when they first set out, the place, well, a few places did it, but the place they actually ended up living, when they first had gone there, they claimed that they didn't have anything available. Well, they had some white girlfriends that were friends of our family. So it's just a matter of go back home, let's get them, and let's go back and send them in. And sure enough, there was places available. So you got to have you some white folks on hand at all times. And don't feel bad about this, because there are white folks that do that. They make sure they have somebody black on hand that they know to give them cover. You see what I'm saying? Just to give them cover, And so what's good for the goose shall be good for the gander, you see? So you need to have you at least one white friend, male or female, depending on what you think your needs are. You'd have somebody, and we don't want to say friend, but you want to say at your disposal, somebody you can access, somebody that you are friendly with, that you can call them up. You need that. All right. For reasons like what I just expressed to you, because there's many times that you are able to expose the racism right on the spot simply by having somebody white that you are friendly with, that you can access. Like I say, in the case of my sisters, they go in and say, oh, we don't have anything available right now. And go, okay, thank you so much. Thank you, fake as shit, fake. Thank you. And they leave. And then they go get the white outfit and go, take your shit. You know what I'm saying? And then she go up in there, and I was here to see if you guys have any apartments. Like, yeah, we have, what you want to look at today, and then boom, there it is. You see what I'm saying? And then we come in the door like, what, bitch? I thought you said wasn't nothing available. You see what I'm saying? So immediately they got that place. All right. Wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Because they can help to get you through stuff. You also need to know, everybody, that is the squeaky wheel that gets the oil in anything. In anything. In the society in which we live, most of society is content to stand around, stand aside and look, don't say anything, don't make waves, don't challenge, don't confront, fuck that. I say do it all. You see, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It just does. And so, if nobody is saying anything about anything, then stuff will just continue. It will just continue, But when something is said, or you make a stink, or you draw attention to, or you raise some noise, you see what I'm saying? Then suddenly things happen. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You have to remember that. You have to remember that. You have to remember that. That's so important. And I'm going to touch more on that as we go through the information. It's also important to as I digress just a little bit, to have loyal friends, everybody. You must surround yourself with people that are loyal. If that means you end up with absolutely no friends, then fine. No friends is better than disloyal friends. Period. The damn end. You see? You have to surround yourself with loyal friends. And you need to surround yourself with people that have their own. They don't got to be wealthy. They don't have to, be extravagant or nothing. Just they don't need a damn thing from you. You see what I'm saying? Materialistically, you don't got to give them gas. They don't need money for rent. They have their own place. They have their own job. And they have their own car. Boom. You see? So you need to surround yourself with people like that, because anybody who is a drag on you is just that, a drag on you. If they can't enhance or increase you in some way, they don't need to be around you. In fact, one of the sisters, who was it? Sent me a comment on the first part of this video. Damn it, I can't remember who it is. All right, when I take my first break, I'll look and see what it was. Now I forgot what that exchange was about. I'm just brain dead today, y'all. I'll move on. Anyway, oh, I know, alhamdulillah. I was saying to the sister, in part of my comment to her, I was saying that also it's always good, whenever possible, to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you and that are older than you. And so even if we don't want to obsess on whether or not they're older than you, it's always good to surround yourself with people that are smarter than yourself. Or if they're not smarter than you, they need to be somebody at your intellectual. They need to be your intellectual equal. They can keep pace with you. You see, I'm like that. Like I'm someone who's content in my silence and to be by myself most of the time. If I can't have people around me that increase me, or at least are an outlet for me, or where I'm not working to be around them in some kind of way. So if they're not as educated as me, then I'm working. Everything I say, I got to explain it. I don't have time for that. I can't. And I just can't. And then also, you don't want people around you that aren't, that don't have anything to contribute to your conversation. And you don't want people around you that would be taking from your materialistic resources and things like that. This is all part of getting what you want in the society. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole picture, everybody. It's a whole picture. It's a whole way of living. I've always lived my life this way, so it's just what I do. But you need to make that part of who you are and what you do. Yeah, you'll have less stress, you'll be younger, you'll be more vibrant, and ha ha ha. All right? So it's very important. Don't surround yourself with broke ass people. Don't do it, because they will always be needing your resources, And that's fine if you're Oprah. I don't mind paying every bill for everybody if I got that kind of cake, because it wouldn't be like, well, because why would I bitch about it? I have more than you. I should pay. Why wouldn't I? But when I am not Oprah and she don't have my phone number, you need to have your own. You just damn it do. If it's the women, it's different, because I've said, and I'll continue to say, women, and it's not me saying it. It's the Creator of the heavens and the earth that has assigned women their station and their place in the society. They're supposed to have whatever they want. Period. The damn end. You understand? Do you understand that in Muslim culture, like if this was a Muslim land, and I say I got a next door neighbor that's a single mom, and maybe her husband died, or she doesn't have a husband, and she falls on bad times, something like that, the men in that community, we will buy her car, we will pay for her house, we'll pay her rent, we'll buy her food, everything, simply because she is a woman. That's it. That's it. So women always get more than men, and women get when men don't get. You see. So in the scenario I was just talking about, if the sister's short, I got her done. In fact, if she don't got to be short, I still got her. So you just can't have takedowns around you. You just can't. I want to stay now, and why I made bullets is because there's some things that I really know that I need to talk about that will be beneficial for people right now. Right now. And so I thought, well, let me talk about that. I don't do well with writing stuff down. Where do I want to begin? I think I want to begin with collections. I think I'll begin with collections because, first of all, I'm not somebody that chases the credit score, everybody. I don't give a damn. I've always been that way, because I've always just lived by a code in my life that if I can't pay for it, I just don't get it right now. Period. I've always been cool with that. I don't window shop. I don't do any of that stuff because I don't need to go looking at stuff when I'm not buying anything. That's even ungrateful to God in a way. Set your ass down and be grateful for what you got. You don't need to be out window shopping. You don't need to do that. So I don't. And when I have something that I've decided I'm going to purchase, I go and I buy that and I leave. That's it. All this languishing around and I don't. When I have friends that come visit me, you always want to take your friends on a shopping outing because whenever they are from out of town, people usually want to shop. So I'm very good at that. I can take you to the best places to shop and things like that so that they can do their shopping. But I'm not just out window shopping and all of that. No. If I'm not buying it, I'm not doing it. And then many years ago, but this is always how I've lived my life. So when she said it wasn't any big thing for me. But Oprah's even told the world, don't fucking impulse buy. Don't do it. I've always lived that way. Go get what you went to go get and take your ass. Because when you start impulse buying, you get into an area. Only time you impulse buy is if it's something that was on your financial planner and you had a certain price point that was for that. So in that case, it's technically not an impulse buy. I'll give you an example. When I bought my 50-inch television, I had gone to the store to get tape. And I walked into Walmart and they had the TVs just sitting right there. You almost had to stumble over them to get into the damn store. And they were less than $350. In fact, it was like $329 or something. I'm like, that's a good price. I need to get that right now. Went home, got the cash, brought it back, paid for it, done. So that was an impulse buy, but it wasn't technically because it was on my financial radar. I think I'm going to end up getting me a 50-inch. I think I'm going to do that. I think so, So don't impulse buy, all right? But credit now. So, or collections, because we're going to talk about credit too. Because they go hand in hand. So we definitely want to talk about collections and credit. Maybe we should have talked about credit first. We'll talk about credit first. First of all, I'm a Muslim. And we don't deal in credit. And any Christian worth their salt should know that. You see? But it's only the Muslims that are doing the right things. That's it. You see? But the Christian ain't supposed to be doing it either. Because that's why the Holy Prophet Jesus was going through and turning over the money changers. You have to be careful of that story because most of what they've said about this man is a lie. You see, the people in the best position to know the most truth about him is the ones that respect and revere him the most, and that is the Muslim. So, but they got prosperity gospels and everything, the Christian church, trying to tell you how to get your credit score up and all the bullshit. You're not supposed to have no damn credit. You understand what I'm saying? We don't allow ourselves to even have interest-bearing accounts in banks. Do you understand this? So we can't charge tax or interest on anything, and we can't receive it. You see? Because God is all-knowing and all-wise, and when you live your life the way that God ordained, you don't get into problems. You don't. So, when you start dealing with credit, you essentially start spending money that you don't have. There's a whole book, or is it a documentary? I don't remember. It's a book. It's called Debt as Money. Debt as money, and that's essentially what I'm going to be, what I want to illustrate to you when I speak about credit. First of all, you don't need no damn credit. That's first. You don't need credit. Stop chasing credit scores. If you're somebody that's obsessed with credit scores, then you can go to annualcreditreport.com. And that's a federal website that every citizen can go to. You're allowed to get your full credit report for free once a year. All right? So if you're somebody that's just not going to take my advice and you're still going to chase this whole credit score bullshit, then that's where you need to go so you can get your credit, so you can get your credit report. All right? It's free. But I say give up credit because it just puts you in a cycle of owing. Because all they're doing is pulling it out of their ass. And you know what? I'm probably going to talk about collections and credit at the same time because they kind of overlap. But let me just go on and say this. Because they're pulling stuff out of their ass. When you get a credit card, I'll give you a simple example. You get a credit card. You first got to fill out the application to qualify for that credit card, right? Well, let's say I'm the creditor. I'm Visa or somebody. I don't got no money. I don't got no money. And if I do have money, I don't have enough to supply all y'all ass that's applying for my card with money. You see? So, I am looking to see, can you give me money? That's really what you're contracting for when you fill out a credit application. I'm saying, can you give me money? We'll let you know if you're approved and all the bullshit. No. You're really in the driver's seat. They need you worse than you need them. But the more you have a culture of people chasing this credit shit, then they end up with more of a pool of people that they can get money from to give them money out of thin air. You see, the more people that listen to what I'm saying in this video and say, fuck it, I don't need no more damn credit, suddenly you're going to start to see them just giving people credit for no reason at all. They just send you a $5,000 limit because they're so desperate. That day is a long way off because you still have so many people still chasing this credit bullshit. Like, I don't know what my credit score is. I don't need to know what it is. I'm not interested in it. I don't give a fuck about credit. I'm over it. Do you understand me? I'm over it. You know? I'm just over it. But to stay on track. So, I'm the dude. You fill out the application. I'm looking at all your business. I'm looking at are you who you say you are? Is your social security number the right number? But more importantly, I'm looking at your money. And I'm juxtaposing that to how much you pay for rent and all that because I'm assessing how much I can raise your interest rate. Also, if the deal goes bad, what assets you have that I can start attacking to get my revenge, get my money that you really don't owe me because it's really no money. It's money out of nowhere. So, they're just looking to see, are you a good candidate? Do you have money? It's kind of like you casing somebody's house. You go into somebody's house and you be like, yeah, and you looking around and see where they got the jewelry and where they got, yeah, I know, homie, I know, man, huh? And trying to see, you see what I'm saying? You really casing their shit so when you come back and rob it. That's essentially what they're doing on a credit application. How much, what do you got? What do you got? Are this person able to give us money? And then they sit and decide, well, they got at least 10,000 they could give us over this amount of period. You see? And then depending, they say, no, this person, we probably won't get $300 or $400 out of them. And they'll go, you're approved for a $300 limit. You know, you're like, ooh, you know, I thought I was going to get more. You can tell if you're going to get approved for more or less by doing your own, taking an inventory of your own shit. You don't need them to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So the more money you make, the more they're going to give you. They want you to have that. They want you to have that. You see? So get rid of this credit thing because they're just pulling money out of the air. And I'm just, now, once you pay me plus interest, now I have, if I approved you for $5,000 over 2 years or some bullshit, now I got $5,000. I have it. Plus interest. I'm chilling. And I just repeat that model several thousand times, or in the case of Visa or MasterCard, several million times, and suddenly I'm a multi-billion-dollar corporation and nobody can talk to me. And I have an office on Fifth Avenue and all of it. That's credit, homie. That's credit. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. Stop buying shit on credit. And for my people, stop with these rent-to-own places. If you have to sit on a damn beanbag until you can afford to put shit in your house, then that's what you do. Stop with all these grandiose, and I got to have the latest, and and you're making payments on your house. Everything attached to me on this earth, I own. Do you understand me? I don't owe nobody for shit. Not a goddamn. Not a goddamn. And you can be that same way. And I want to interchange that now with collections. All right? First of all, don't ever pay a collector, everybody. Period. The damn end. End of video. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This is the Jedi. Don't ever pay a collector. Don't. Don't, damn it, don't. First of all, whenever you see them calling you, like if they're calling your house or whatever, and you've gotten used to, because they have ways they switch up numbers and stuff like that, if you know the numbers, then just don't answer the damn phone. Be over it. Don't answer it. Don't. Don't. You also need to stop giving out your cell phone number to everybody. You've got to exercise discipline. They've moved now. A lot of people, even when I moved, and like the cable company wants to know, is that your cell number? No, bitch, it's not my cell number. You don't need that. I don't own a cell phone. I don't own one. I don't. I do, but I tell them I don't. No, I don't own one. You don't need, no. Stop it. Because as it relates to collections, you don't want some damn collector having your damn cell phone number. You understand? And the laws can vary across the country and they can be a little skittish. But in most states, they can call your cell phone number, you know. But alas, just don't give that number out. And then when they're calling your house, you don't answer the phone. Now, if eventually they catch you off guard and you answer it or whatever, then it's only two things that you want to know. The first one is are they the person you owe? What do I mean by that? Let's say you owe I don't know. Here's a good one. Let's say you owe Bank of America. You have their credit card. You owe Bank of America. Now, if that's Bank of America that is actually calling, and you feel like you might want to pay them, then you can talk to them. If they are not Bank of America and they are collections, that doesn't mean they're the collections department of Bank of America. They're probably some completely different entity. Those are the people you don't want to deal with at all. You don't need to. Because I said two things. A, are they the person? And here's the second thing. The second thing is, if they're not the person, then they got to be able to prove the debt. You see? What does that mean, Jedi? I don't know what this means. Well, I'm going to tell you. When let's say you had the Bank of America credit card, and you never paid it, and they sent you threatening notices, and they're coming to get the kids, and they're going to show up at your house and all of it, and it never happened. All right? And now it's gone to collections. So it's no longer Bank of America. Bank of America takes a write-off. They take a write-off. And they file that with their taxes as a loss. So they're taking care of their whole. They've forgotten all about you. They're over it. In fact, you can turn right around how you can prove this to yourself. Especially, so if it's, let's say it's Bank of America, and you had a credit card with them, and it went to hell. Once it's over, it's been sold off to collections, you can go right back to Bank of America and open an account. It will never show. And you'd be like, how come they're not asking me nothing about that credit card? Because they don't have it anymore. All right? So now it's Tom's Collections or something. They have some big grandiose name, some grandiose name, But what has happened is that they are the parasites that swim along the sharks, and they suck off of their debt. They go, I see you got the Jedi's debt over there. I buy it for like $5. And they go, okay, $5. Now, you owe the bank $500 on that credit card. They're coming at you for $500. So now you're telling them, prove that first of all, you don't even talk to them. But if you're pathetic and you're going to actually sit there and have a conversation with them, which you should be killed if you do that, and nobody should attend your funeral because you were just an idiot, and your headstone should just say, idiot lies here, I'm over it. But then they have to prove the debt. Even if they threaten to sue you, when they get into a court of law, it's not going to be Bank of America, it's going to be Joe's Collections. And all he's going to be able to show is the $5 that he paid Bank of America for your damn debt. And if any judgment is entered against you, it's going to be that $5 that they acquired it with. Because they're not party to the debt. You understand? When you contracted with me. I'm Bank of America. Nobody else was there. You see what I'm saying? You contracted with me. We never heard of Joe's Collection. Won't know him. You know what I'm saying? So he's not even party to it. You never signed anything with him. You have no agreement with him at all. At all. That's why you don't need to answer the phone when they calling. Because most of the time, creditors that you owe, they send you the threatening letters. And they just let you know it's going to collections. Pretty much once it's gone to collections, it's no longer in-house with them. It's with Joe's Collections. They've taken a write-off and filed it as a loss with their taxes, and they're good to go. Done. Don't ever fucking pay a bill collector, everybody. Don't. And certainly if you have medical bills, don't ever pay that shit ever. 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 People are just paying stuff and money they could be having. Listen, this whole system is built on theft and thievery and usury and taking people's money. Anytime you can get over on these motherfuckers, goddammit, you do it. You just do it. Now, if you owe somebody outright that you owe something, like, you borrow $50 from me and you say, I owe the Jedi and you pay me back, that's cool. You feel? But even under Islam, if this is, man. Anyway, but under Islam, do you understand that if you borrow $50 from me, first of all, if I have it, I have to give it to you. I can't even loan it to you. But if I loan it to you, you say, I'm going to pay it back to you at such and such time. God has ordained for me that if you have a hardship, I have to give you time to pay it back. And I can't charge you interest or tax on the shit. That's the true word of God. Don't give me that biblical bullshit. I'm going to start doing my religious videos and start pissing a bunch of people off because y'all know how I get. But it's important, especially when you think about life and society. You understand? There's a way and a code that God designed for us to live our life on this damn earth, and Christianity ain't fucking it. Period. The damn end. I'm getting worked up. Because this is a society where you have soup kitchens and all the bullshit, and people won't even give you a lousy dime if you're out in the cold. The Muslim understands that Allah has said that charity is the right of the poor upon the rich. And for all y'all Christians going to pay that 10%, all the bullshit and more, and love offerings and all that stuff to the church, get rid of that. Get rid of that. You understand that Allah has ordained that mankind pays 2.5% of your excess wealth. You understand? Your excess. That means you have all your stuff. Not my sister, one of my sisters who's a Christian, is calling me and trying to get $300 out of me for a damn love offering for her pastor back in 2006, and I haven't talked to the bitch since. Because I dared to ask her why she needed my $300. You feel me? You pay 2.5% on your excess wealth and anything that you've just been sitting on for at least a year. If you haven't used it in a year, your ass don't need it. It should be given to the poor and those who have less than you. Go to an Islamic country, you don't see homelessness. Do you understand that in Libya, as much as they wanted, I'm getting off track, I don't give a damn, as much as they wanted to try and villainize Gaddafi, do you understand there was no such thing as rent in fucking Libya? Why? Because it's a Muslim country. No such thing as rent. No such thing. No such thing as rent. That's mind-blowing for the unrighteous mind. But for the heart that understands righteousness and the Creator and His Word, we go, yeah, damn right, ain't no rent. No surprise. That's just one example I can give you. Anyway, stop with the credit, everybody. Stop. Because I'm sick of people, and they have even the churches now with these prosperity gospels, and we're going to see our pastor, and they help you fix your credit and all. Fuck credit. If they wanted to help you, they would tell you, get rid of this bullshit and don't pay nobody. Don't. You don't pay nobody. Nah. Don't pay a damn thing. Now, so, you definitely don't pay collections, everybody, because like I say, and there are all sorts of rules about when and where they can call you, what their demeanor is supposed to be, whether or not they can record the call, and all these things. You don't need to get wrapped up into that. You just need to understand, especially, but you also need to check your statute of limitations in your state. Because sometimes it's like after maybe 5 years, they can't call you no more. So you got to go all the time with them trying to call your ass and all this kind of thing. You feel me? But here's the most important thing you need to know. Whether you're satisfied or not, it's still going to be on your fucking report. You've gained nothing. You see, unless you're going to go out and pay a whole bunch of money to these so-called people that fix credit, but it's still going to be on there. Just get rid of the credit altogether. You don't need it. And this whole thing, well, we trying to buy a house and you can't buy no house and you got no credit. Fuck that. You don't need a house. You see what I'm saying? And there's other ways to buy a house without going into debt and having credit and shit. You feel me? There's ways to do it. I don't want to get into that. Maybe I could just do a whole video about how to buy a house without perfect credit and all the bullshit. Because at the end of the day, money talks. That's what I know for sure. I've never had to have credit because I know if I have money, I'm going to get what I want. It's that simple. I will get it. It will happen. It will. It will. Another thing I want to interject here. This is random, but it's important in the overall context of what we're talking about. Anytime you buy let's say you buy anything used, a refrigerator, a car, an article of clothing, anything, somebody's selling something. First of all, always do business in person and always flash cash to get a better deal. What are you talking about, Jedi? Let's say that I see a car I want and they want $5,000 for it. I'm just giving you something random. to help you understand what I'm talking about. You show up and you look at I'd show up and I look at that car, man, this is nice. Oh, and I like the way it's got the, oh man, and then I test drive it, I like it. Ooh, this is the bomb and everything. I'm just giving it all this praise. I'm really interested. Then I physically position myself when we get back to wherever we're going to be at. So I'm in maximum light. And maybe I've got 3,500. And I go, man, I want it, but damn, I only got 3,500. Let them see money. When they see money, you're getting it for 3,500. I promise you on everything, it's never failed. When people see money, that's it. That's it. That's it. In fact, one of the things I'm going to talk about is how and when to buy a car. And that tactic also works, especially if you're buying a used car. Because that dealer, I'm going to talk about that when I talk about cars. But I'll say this real quick. When that salesperson is seeing, it calls, all he's thinking about is how do I go in here and get this person to give me that money today so I can take that home today. And don't let it be Friday, Thursday or Friday. He's imagining his weekend. You're getting, you see what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that when we get down the road a little bit, because I also want to talk about a lot of things with rental cars and buying cars and stuff like that. This is stuff that can really help my people right now, everybody. I rack my brain. I'm like, well, what else do I do? Like, what have I learned along the way? What can help? And these are some things I come up with. And trust me, I got a whole bunch of other shit I could share with you. I'm not going to make any commitment to keep these videos short. I try and use my time wisely with time management. And, however long we go, we just go. Y'all know that about me already. All right? You can't watch it all right now. Goddamn, you watch it in parts. I don't know what to tell you. I'm over it. All right. Anyways. So what else do I want to say about debt collectors? Like, that's the main thing I just really want to communicate. Don't pay no damn collections. You don't need to. What else? Very important that I tell you this. If you are dumb enough to talk to these damn people, when they say, are you Mrs. So-and-so? Fine, you might give your name. This is because you might just be nosy. You want to know who it is calling. I can't really stop you from that. Fine, whatever. But alas, then you never admit to it. So if I'm the dude calling you and go, yeah, Miss Johnson, I'm calling you about your... We'll use Bank of America again. I'm calling you about your Bank of America. I'm calling you about your Bank of America credit card. You'd be like, I don't have a Bank of America credit card. Please don't call my home anymore. Click. Done. Because you've not admitted to it. You've not admitted to it. So they're scratching their head. That must not have been heard in. Especially if your name is Johnson or some regular slave name. You could be any Johnson. They don't know. You feel me? Now, they just don't know. So never admit to the debt. Ever. Ever. Ever, ever, damn it, ever. But like I say, as I tell you, don't ever even talk to their ass. So I'm saying, because the white man is the devil, and he's calling you on the phone for money, he's even more of a devil. I'm over it. So don't. You definitely don't pay collections. Don't. Say if you're dealing with an actual entity that you know is still in-house with them, and you feeling like you want to pay that for your own reasons or whatever, I can't really tell you what to do. I'm not your boss, so you go ahead and do that. But definitely once it's out of house, you will still be able to do business with that, whoever that is, and that's completely separate. It means nothing because they don't have it in-house anymore. They've sold it off and taken a loss and filed it on their damn tax. They're over it. Do you understand me? It's very important. Very important. Well, I'm not going to do it in this video. I was just going to say, I think I have to bring in the spiritual and religious end of this, you guys, because It is. It's at the core of everything. Anyway, let's just move on. Let's just move on. I think I should also quickly mention, even though I will get more into it when I do it just about buying a house, I think it'd be just worth mentioning, at least in passing in this piece, that remember you guys when all the foreclosures were going on and people were losing their house left and right, and it was, oh, our house just got foreclosed and we just got foreclosed and we just got foreclosed. I wasn't doing YouTube videos then, unfortunately, but I educated myself at that time, and a lot of those people that were out in the streets and at shelters didn't need to be, because just like I told you, these motherfuckers that calling you about your B of A, they're not party to it and it's been sold off. When it comes to a house, a lot of those people, your loan has been sold so many damn times. So if they had just said to the person, show me the original loan, show me, they can never produce it. I know this because my best friend at the time went through this. And I said, tell them to show you the shit. They couldn't. So they couldn't be, so not just him, but other people, then they found out they could not legally be put out of their home. I'm getting put out of my home just on your word? That's not good enough. Show me the goods. Show me. You see? But the way finance and all that works, you have to know something about the stock market and real estate and all that stuff, and it gets a little bogged down. That's why it needs its own separate video. But you need to understand that, you just need to understand that, like, it's, I don't want to go into it because there's no way to go into it lightly. I'll just stop there and say they got to be able to show you the damn original shit. All right? Otherwise, you don't go no damn where. And so, even though we're not in, and most of our people were affected. Damn it, I gotta wait. But anyway, most of our people were affected by that because of the subprime bullshit. They were giving loans to people they knew were not what I started out the video with. They giving you money that don't exist, trying to see if you're good enough to pay it. Well, they knew our people weren't, and they were still giving those loans. You see? That don't mean all of us couldn't pay it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, they made it seem like that. Like, they gave them to black people and they couldn't pay them damn loans. Nah, there's a lot of black people out there that have money. You understand? And that are at least comfortable, even if they're not wealthy, you know? And so, but they were targeting poorer people to who were in less of a position to be sophisticated enough to be able to defend themselves if the shit hit the fan. And also, they could charge higher interest rates on and things like that. So it just gets into an area. But I will go into that in detail when I tell you about how to buy a house. But I'm really going to be advocating why you don't need no damn house. And if you do buy a house, it should be only for certain reason and only if you fit a certain criteria. I'm very passionate about that. Very passionate. Very passionate. Because they have people in this country thinking that the ultimate thing is to own a house. And no, the fuck, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Damn it, it's not. So, don't pay bill collectors. Don't take the call whenever possible. And if you do, you're just trying to find out if they're the collection company or they're the original fucking people. But you almost don't want to ask that. That's why I say it's better not to talk to them, because the moment you ask, you're almost admitting to the debt, because why would you be asking about it? Just don't talk to their ass. Just don't. Don't. And give a fuck about your credit score, because it's going to be on there no matter what transacts between you and them. Whether you pay it or not, it's still going to be on there. So just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's my best advice to you, I'm telling you. I thought about, with this being the holiday season, and as somebody, I rent cars, because I got to a point where I'm like, well, why would I Well, you know, if it's certain things that I do, I just feel like, well, I don't really need to put these miles on my car. I'll drive somebody else's car at 90 miles an hour. You know, um, so I thought it would be worth talking about this part of it because um, growing up, I knew people, and my grandmother had friends. Even one of my good friends in high school, his mom didn't have a car. She always rented cars and stuff like that. And I know people that rent cars all the time. And I know wherever we exist and spend money and we don't own it, I know that there's always the likelihood that our people are being taken advantage of. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to speak on this. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on this segment, you guys, because this, I think I might be able to just give this to you kind of straightforward. Um, because the main parts that I wanted to talk about is the insurance. You know, that's the biggest thing. After trying to get a good price first, then that's usually people's first concern, you know. And then after that, it's usually when they hit you, did you want to get the protection on the vehicle? And then that's where you get eaten alive. All right. So we're gonna put a stop to that right now. I think the first thing I should do is share with you. You should write this down, or again, you can always watch the video more than once, obviously. Oh, you first want to start out by getting a good price. All right. So you want to even it's usually harder to get a good price and indeed a car if it's near the holidays, you know, some kind of special holiday or people are getting away and a lot of road travel and stuff like that. Even if you are making your reservation in advance, as soon as they see that date, they know, like if you're trying to call 6 months in ahead for like 4th of July, they're going to look at, oh, that's July 4th. It's So you won't be getting around that. But there is a way. 2 websites. One is called the first one is called Kayak. It's spelled Kayak. Kayak.com. Literally, you can get rental cars for like $5 a day. I'm not joking. And the other one is rentalcars.com. You should check out both of those and just kind of tour around their websites. And, you know, it's kind of like cheap tickets or something like that. When you go there looking for a flight, you would just kind of tool around until you found something that was what you were looking for. So you do the same thing with those. But what I want to talk about... Why am I so yawny right now, y'all? Am I boring myself? Is that what's happening, Jedi? Are you boring your own damn self? Anyways, what is this? Something random. I'm glad I made a bullet of it. Something else. I want to say this before I go into the rental car stuff. When you are in a retail store, everybody, hear this now. Anytime you're in a retail store buying anything, wait, I feel like that was just a little too high or something. I don't know. 2 things. When you see, and now my eyes are getting watery. Let me get some tissue, y'all. Hold up now. Damn it all, I'm over it. If you are in a retail store and they have something stocked on the shelf at a fixed price, If it's stocked in that area, they've got to give you that price. Now, don't be thinking you're going to take your trifling ass up in there and put some stuff in a place where it didn't belong. Go, it was on the shelf. That's, get out. I'm talking about, there's clearly like a whole, that's where all of them are stocked. Like, it's all of them are there, you know. Like, it clearly you didn't just put that there, you know. When it's that clear, you don't go to the cashier. You don't even alert the cashier. Because remember, we already talked about in part 1, you never deal with people that are not empowered to give you what it is that you seek. So we want to go straight to power. So you immediately ask for the store manager. You don't alert nobody about what you found. You immediately alert the store manager. Actually, take that back, because I'm giving you a scenario as if you knew that there was going to be a problem with the register. Strike that. When you get to the register, but I'm one of the people that I'm not interested in having small talk with the cashier until she's done ringing my shit. I'm watching everything that goes across that beep to see if that's the price that I know it was on the thing. So when they hit something, I go, no, that's not the price. It's different on the thing. You see, you got to pay attention. If you got kids, don't take the little bad ass in the car, in the house, leave the ass in the car. Don't take the ass in the store, leave the ass in the car, or have your belt out. Shut your shit. We checking out now. Now, so as soon as they ring something, and once you know that, wait a minute, that was stocked there, and it's that price, you stop there and you say, let me get a manager. I'd like a manager right now. I'd like a manager. Because she's a bottom feeder. Remember, in our scenario of getting what we want in the society, we don't deal with these lowly people. We don't have time for them. We don't. We only want people that are in power and have power to give us the things that we want. So you immediately seek a manager. You visually go back with that manager and say, see, that's what it is. Period. And they got to give you your shit. If by some rare occasion that manager is feckless and doesn't know what's going on and is not trying to give you the price, then you keep it in that kind space. Don't go off on him yet and start calling him everything in the book. You're going to be able to do that, but not just yet. And you get all of his information and their district number. Because remember, I already told you, there's always people in any conglomerate, any corporation, any big business, that there's people that's all they care about is the numbers. You understand? Customer acquisition, customer retention, and things like that. You see? If you're a store manager, especially in retail, I ain't really had no problems. But you have to prepare for any event. So maybe you run into somebody that is just feckless and doesn't know, or maybe they're just an asshole and doesn't want to give you the price, you know, because they fucked up, you know, whatever. But you need to get that. You get their district number, and you get his name and all of his information. You understand what I'm saying? Oh yes, you know. And sometimes they maybe they've screwed up and it's a high ticket item and it's totally in the wrong place, and you even know that price is ridiculous. But the fact of the matter, it's there. It's there. And you also make sure that you always have in your phone the number to the Better Business Bureau. You understand what I'm saying? And the Department of Consumer Affairs. Those two numbers, you can Google that after you watch this video and store those in your phone right now. Right now. The Better Business Bureau and the Department of Consumer Affairs. Have those phone numbers in your phone. Do it. Do it. Do it. Now, the other thing, last thing I want to say about that before we go into this rental car crap, is, and I do this all the time, who has time to be going from store to store to save a fucking coin? You understand? I'll give you an example. I love Breyers butter pecan ice cream. It's got to be Breyers. It has to be. Don't bring me no other butter pecan. Don't. I can't see you. I don't know you. Anyways, that's its own video. But anyway, so there's a Walmart, and then there's a grocery store. And Walmart always has it for $3.98, pay the cashier. The grocery store is nearly $5. So what do? As soon as I see that, I go to the store manager at the grocery store and I go, I can just go to Walmart. They have it $3.98 all the time. Why aren't you trying to compete with Walmart? Like, what's going on? He goes, is it that price at Walmart? I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, tell them to give you that price then. You see? And you can even be more of a step ahead nowadays because the cell phone, you could just punch it up, how much is the fucking ice cream at whatever, and show them, like, see, you are the only antiquated dinosaur on this bitch. Give me my ice cream at $3.98 or I'll take this whole fucking place out. So that's a way to save you some gas. That's a twofer because you're saving gas and money. You see? Because why are you going to drive to another place? That's gas. See what I'm saying? And then plus, so you're not really, and depending on your rate, your distance to gas ratio, you've actually ended up spending the same or more by trying to go someplace to get a cheaper price. You see what I'm saying? So you stay your ass right there and let them give you that price right there. You see? I had to get that in. So here's the thing, everybody. Here's the biggest mistakes that people make when they go to rent a car. And this is what you're not going to be doing anymore after you watch this video. First of all, you're going to go to those two websites that I talked about, and you're going to be trying to get the cheapest price for the rental itself, period. Now, the insurance. First of all, if you have car insurance, your insurance covers your damn vehicle. End of video. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is the Jedi. All right. All right, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. All right, but not so much because even if you just have liability insurance, you're still good to go. If you just want to be on the safe side, you still want to call up maybe your insurance company and go, I'm renting a car, I just want to make sure this follows me. Because most insurance policy follows you, the person, not the damn car. If you just happen to be in it and then you have comprehensive and collision, then we can take care of you too. But liability is pretty much just for that other person's car. We don't really care about you. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but in the case of, but if somebody hits you, then you have coverage and you have the whatever your state allows and things like that. All right, fine. But certainly if you have, and most people have more than liability. So certainly if you have collision and all that kind of stuff, your rental car is going to be covered. You don't need it. But there's some things that you could possibly need. Because here's the situation. Let's say you have a rental car and your insurance totally covers you. So you go, I'm good. Now, you're hit in the car or you hit somebody. It doesn't matter who's at fault. Because we've already established your insurance, you're covered. Right? But you get into what is known as loss of use by the car rental company. So let's use Enterprise just as an example. So you rent their car and oh my God, some bitch hit the door or they ran into you or something and it's covered. But now they're coming after you because even after the insurance is paid that, they now want to recoup the fact that they didn't have that car on the road. Loss of use. Huh? So they have these fees and all the shit that they've decided, and they're going to come after you, not Enterprise, or not your insurance company. They're coming after you for these fees. Now, there's sometimes a way you can get around it, and then you're going to you pretty much have to have an attorney involved, but that's not going to help you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because let's say they're going to try and recoup these charges from you. And then even your attorney says, well, they have to show us, or they should be able to prove then that they didn't have any other cars in the fleet and that this car being out of service, they suffered for that. That would sound like the righteous thing to do, and they should be able to show that, right? Wrong. Because car companies have decided that information is confidential. So again, it's this fucked up society that's not connected to the Creator at all. This is not a Christian society. It's not any type of holiness society. It's not anything. It's nothing. It's nothing but the fucking asshole of the devil. That's all it is. You see? And you really find out the fabric of any society when it comes to how it treats its people and its business practices and its rules and laws. You feel me? That's where the meat and potatoes is. This is some bullshit. It just is, you know? It's even about the people at that point as a whole, as a mass. It's about what's represented, what's representative of that state, that nation state. You see what I'm saying? That gets into something else too. I'm not going in that deep. But it's some bullshit. That we can all understand. All right, I'm over it. So, in that regard, then you want to have, if they're gonna come after you for loss of use, to prevent that, then you want to make sure, if anything, if you're going to buy anything from them when you step onto a rental car lot, then you want to get something known as a loss damage waiver. So it can be a few dollars, but it's worth it, because then in the event of something, or you can just talk to the in-house person. You know, like my local enterprise, I know everybody that works there. I have a good rapport. They all know me, and it's all good. So I would just talk to the head dude and ask them, what's your policy on this? Don't just buy it. You see, establish a rapport, especially if you, and it's always good to rent from the same place all the time. That way you establish a rapport. It's harder for people to lie to you when they have a rapport with you, and it's harder for people to try and get over on you when you're standing in their face. This is not something you do on the phone. You do it standing in front of them. I've always said, do all business, whenever possible, do all business in person. Because most people on the earth are wimpy, and that's why they text. And they go, so, I'll text you though, because they want to tell you some shit they don't have the courage to tell you in your face. You see? And business can be the same way. People don't want to tell you no. So it's always better to do business in person, and you have a better guarantee of getting whatever it is you seek. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. So in that regard, then you want to talk to them and say, look, I'm not trying to buy this damn waiver. Do y'all be trying to go after this stuff? Like, is my insurance just good enough? You guys have that whole loss of use bullshit going on. You just tell me, you know. And they tell you, and by Allah, I asked this question to, this was a few years ago, but the dude that was the head dude, I asked him that. He was like, nah, we don't do that, you know. So that, you know what I'm saying, that's, I'm good. So, but there's some other things that you don't know about that you need to know about. And because I mentioned in introing this topic about people, you know, knowing people that don't have cars and people that rent a lot of cars and this and the third, what you need to also know, everybody, is that if you don't have a car and you're always renting cars, you can get something called non-owner liability insurance. Did you know that? Non-owner liability. It also works in your favor when you tell your good girlfriend that lives next door, Keisha, girl, let me use your car. I can't let nobody drive my car. You can show her, like, look, I got non-owner liability insurance. What? See what I'm saying? So you don't have to own a car to have car insurance. That's why I mentioned earlier that most insurances follow you, the person, and not your car. You see what I'm saying? It's you and your car if you with your car, but a lot of it is just it covers you. That's why you can rent a car and your insurance will cover you. You see what I'm saying? So this non-owner liability insurance is for people that rent a lot of cars, that don't own cars, and it's also for people that don't own cars, that don't rent cars, but maybe you just always trying to borrow your neighbor's car or your family member's car or something, and they can feel better about it if you have insurance. You feel me? And most of the stuff I've seen, you probably pay maybe $30 a month or something like that. You probably can get it cheaper than that. You feel me? It's definitely something to look into. You can call up your insurance and tell them you want to know about non-owner liability insurance. Non-owner liability insurance. Very important. It's very important. Um, and also then, which you don't really need to get this involved, but if you want them people, because we all know people that they be buying everything, that they the type to go to the store and buy like something in the electronics, and they're getting the extended warranty, and they go to get their car fixed and they're getting we know people like that just spend way too much fucking money. I'm over it, you know. Like my grandmother used to say, if you trust the Lord for one thing, you trust Him for all things, So this whole insurance thing, we abide by it under the law of the land as Muslims, but we not on board with this insurance thing. Not on board. Not on board, because you're supposed to just trust Allah. That's why we don't have life insurance policies. Do you understand? Because you don't own your life. You don't own your life. Muslims understand this, and Allah has ordained. You don't own your life. I own you. I breathe life into you. I sustain you through your life, and I determine when you come home. I own you. You see what I'm saying? And I already shared with you that for Muslims, our will, no matter what the structure of your family is, all that stuff is laid out in the 5th surah of the Quran. I don't need a will. I don't need a life insurance policy. I don't. Because when I die, my Muslim community will collect me, and they will prepare my body, and they will wash me, and they will pray, and they will do everything. They will give me what is known as a janazah, which is a funeral. You see? I don't need life insurance. I don't need it. I don't need it. Don't need it. You know what I'm saying? So all y'all with these colonial pen and and it's so sad for y'all fake Christians, because I did a video a couple years ago. There was this lady, an elderly lady, who had, she was shut in. She was elderly. She couldn't get to the church no more. And so she hadn't been to the church in a few years, a couple years, something like that. And don't you know, they was refusing to give her a funeral because she hadn't paid her damn tithes? That would only come out of a fucking Christian story. Nobody else on the earth is doing that shit. You don't hear it from the Muslims. You don't hear it from the Buddhists. You don't hear it from the Orthodox Jews, the real Jews, not these Zionist people. I'm saying it's only fake-ass Christians that do all this stuff. Oh, it's just a game. A game. That's why nobody... I'll do that when I get to my religious stuff, because I don't want to get worked up again. But it matters, everybody. It matters. It matters. It matters. That's why you have to know the true word of God, because when you do, you realize that God has covered your entire life. From morning to night, from birth to death. Period. There is no personal savior and all the bullshit. And God has not come to earth. He's not coming to earth. You understand? That whole trick act. And I don't care about it. I just care that my people are wrapped up in it. You don't hear me bitching about Buddhism. You hear me bitching about nothing but Christianity. Because my people are involved in that. And in this nation, it has 86% of my people sucked up in that lie. And it affects everything that you do. Everything. Everything. Just in this video, I've been able to illustrate to you, if you can read between the lines, you can see where, wow, this is another area where we're going through this shit, and Muslims really don't have to deal with that. You see? I'll get into that in those videos. I'm over it. But why I mention that, like these people that get way too much, is because there's also something you can get called personal accident insurance. And it covers medical for you and your passenger and all the other stuff. Like, it's just like extra. But you can determine if you need a lot of this stuff by calling up your insurance company. Also, if you're one of the people that have credit cards, all right, which you're going to get rid of after you've seen this video, and you're not paying them when they start calling you. But if you're one of those people, a lot of credit cards do have a thing where they pay for rental cars, or they give you some kind of consideration for it. So before you start with anything, if you're one of them credit card holding ass people, call them first and say, yeah, I'm going to be renting a car. Is there anything in my policy for rental car? You see what I'm saying? And some of them even take care of that loss of use crap with the rental car companies as well. So it's definitely in your benefit to do that, you guys, to So for any of us out there that rent cars, you can be smarter about it, and you can save yourself some coin. You don't need to be buying a bunch of stuff. You're buying stuff you don't even need and you already have, and they're not going to tell you because they're trying to make money. Other thing I should mention too, while I'm mentioning this, is how to get free upgrades. Everybody, so maybe you tell them you reserving like a compact or something, but I can tell you how to get out of there with damn near a fucking limo. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, you don't go during high volume periods. You go when it's slow. All right. And then when if they have before you go in there, you casing to see what they have out there. Then when you get in there, if your car isn't ready, then you say, well, I'm really in a hurry. Can I just get something else then? A lot of times they're going to give you that upgrade. If they got another car, if they have a car like yours, they might just give you that. Damn it, it didn't work. But 9 times out of 10, be like, well, because I really got to go. I have to go, and I see you have that Escalade out there. Maybe I could just get that at the same price because you're not ready for me. You're not ready. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times they're going to go for that. And you can get that upgrade for free, homie. Get what you want out of this damn society, but you got to be aware. You got to be alert. But you also have to have the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? You got to have the knowledge. You got to have the knowledge. You got to have the knowledge. Information. And that's what I'm trying to give you right now. Yeah, but sometimes you get that upgrade. Trust and believe. I've been upgraded quite a bit. I've had some stuff, because I'm not a car person, so I can't even tell you what some of the stuff was, y'all, because I don't know what it was. I know I had some kind of a Subaru something. It looked like the whole roof was sunroof. And it was, I still don't know how that thing worked. And it had all the bells and whistles. I don't know what it was. But I've had some really nice upgrades. Like, really nice. Doing that same thing that I'm sharing with you. I promise you. What else do I need to share with you? What's my time looking like? We're not going to do another segment, so I'm just going to try and wrap it up here. Also, renting car at the end of the day is good too. You see, I wanted to get into buying a car, you guys, too, because that's kind of connected to this in a way. I'm not going to do another segment. I'm not doing it. If it cuts off, it just cuts off. But also renting a car at the end of the day is also good too, because now they're more under pressure, you see, and you're pretty much going to get what you want because they're trying to get out of there. And also, many of them work on commissions. So whatever deal you're trying to get, they're pretty much going to go for that because they can just get that last little deal in before close of business. That's more money for them, you see. So whenever possible, go get there late, you see what I'm saying, and work your magic, and you come up with a better deal. I always do business with Enterprise because back when I was working for Xerox, I was the regional specialist, and we had a corporate account with Enterprise, so I literally could go to Enterprise and just go and whatever I wanted, and Xerox would pay for it. And I always liked Enterprise. I just did. They have nicer cars. I don't know. Maybe they ain't everybody's cup of tea. But anywhere I've lived around the country, I've just always, even before I worked for Xerox, I always rented from Enterprise. And then when I was with Xerox and we had the corporate account, I'm like, I always rent from them anyway. I'm like, that's what's up. So Enterprise is my best friend. I'm just saying. And stuff and everything. Yeah. So I think we can land it here, you guys. I think that in part 3, we will get into buying a house or not. And we will also get into buying a car. I have a few of my Muslim brothers work at very upscale car dealers, and I can give you a lot of pointers about when to buy a car, how to get the best deal, and all those things, you know. But just on your own, for now, you know, if you're dealing with like a mom and pop type car lot that's got used cars, or if you're dealing with a single owner, like I told you earlier, once they see money, you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get what you want, because you don't have, you know, that's truth when I spoke it, because when people just see money, man, you get that money. Because when people see money, they want it anyway. So even if you just around family or friends or something, you just pull out some money. Like, well, you got money, but you gonna give me some money, you know what I'm saying? Every day they see money, they want money. So you in a negotiation and you pull out money, they know they can have that money right now. They start imagining themselves with that money. You're gonna get what you want. If you don't, you come and tell the Jedi. Because I will fight somebody for you. Because that means they're probably feckless and they're an idiot and they're brain dead and I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you will get what you want. Trust me. I always get what I want in the society, everybody, because of the things that I'm trying to teach you and the pointers that I'm trying to pass along, so that you can just be more savvy, you know, in the realm, you know. Get what you want, you know. Everybody else is beating their damn way through. And I'm not even giving you anything nefarious. I'm just showing you how to work within the lines. You feel me? That's it. You see what I'm saying? It's like they give you the little picture of the policeman when I was a little kid. They didn't tell me what color. They just gave me crayons and said stay in the lines. All right, goddamn it, I'm going to use goddamn it psychedelic on this bitch. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So we're just going psychedelic on it. That's all. That's all. That's all. So we'll get into those topics and more in the third part of this. But I'm not going to do a third part if I don't see that on the first part, when those statistics come out on analytics, if I see that you guys weren't sharing the video, then I'm wasting my time. And it also means you're being selfish, because I already told you, none believes until you want for your brother that which you want for yourself. This is information we want all of our people to know. So you share this with everybody, because I'm not here to waste my time or yours. I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.